It's now my pleasure to welcome the Foundation's 12th recipient of the Lifetime Trustee Award, Duane McDougall. This award recognizes trustees who have distinguished themselves over the years in advancing the university's and the Foundation's agenda through their service and through their philanthropy. And Duane is actually the first OSU Foundation trustee that I met, and this is sort of a personal moment for me because this is the first time I've been able to stand up here and talk about someone I actually worked with during my time as CEO of the Foundation. So very special opportunity to talk about Duane a little bit tonight. So Duane was the first person I met. I flew out from the East Coast for my interview with the OSU Foundation Search Committee, and the plane arrived about 9 o'clock at PDX. It was a beautiful summer evening, so I'm sure Duane had lots of better things to do. But there he was, right at the end of that security line, you know, where people queue up to meet somebody. So Duane and I met at that point, and he drove me into the hotel. And as you can imagine, it was an amazing first impression to be greeted by someone who is the chair of the Foundation and also a Fortune 500 CEO. So we talked all the way to the parking garage, all the way to the hotel. By the time I got out of the car, I realized that I'd learned a great deal about the OSU Foundation, and I also learned that we had a couple of areas where we might be able to do better. As I quickly learned, Duane is never shy about offering his thoughts on those types of things. But after that same amount of time with him, I knew that the Foundation also had on board a number of people who were just so deeply committed to the university and had a deep belief in the university's mission that they would do literally anything to help OSU become one of the top land-grant universities in the country. And Duane has really done that. His term as board chair was followed by several years on our executive committee, and somehow he drew the short straw, and he was the chair of our investment committee from 2007 to 2009. I'm very glad he was, because he helped us get through that very challenging period and recalibrate our investments. Duane and Barbara are equally savvy with their own investments. Duane and Barbara have been one of the leading promoters of our University Venture Development Fund, which is a special program that we have that provides seed funding for startups that's based on intellectual property generated by OSU's faculty. You've heard a little bit about the College of Business tonight, and when Austin Hall opens up next fall, there'll be a room in Austin Hall with Duane and Barbara's name on it. And you saw the video and the wonderful impact that their scholarship has had for students from the Tigard and Tualatin areas. You know, Duane worked odd jobs to put himself through college. He picked berries like a lot of people did back in that era, delivered newspapers, worked at his folks' luncheonette. But he recognizes that today it's a lot harder for students to work and put themselves through college. The price of tuition has gone up to the point where it's just very, very difficult to do that. So their support is really making a difference and enabling many students who wouldn't be able to enjoy an Oregon State University education to be there. All right, so we have a little blip in the materials here. But I'm going to fake it, so. Kelly, what's going on over in Los Angeles? Okay, thanks. All right. So I'll just close by saying that another one of our really strong trustees, a great leader for the OSU Foundation, Jim Rudd. In fact, I think he said something like this at a meeting we had this morning, described Duane by saying, when Duane's in, he's all in. And Duane, we're very grateful that you're all in for the OSU Foundation and for the university. And so we've decided that we need to go all in as well. And so we're going to move you from that category of honorary trustee to be lifetime trustee of the OSU Foundation, which, as I know you realize, means you can be attending Steve Schabel's meetings of the investment committee for as long as you want to. So please congratulate Duane McDougall.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ruth Beyer, and I'd like in a moment to invite you to join me in a toast. So I'm the chair of the OSU Foundation Board of Trustees that votes on this award, and we selected Duane because he's a great example that trustees can contribute not only during their period of service, but for many years afterwards. I'll share just one story. Last spring, OSU applied for a challenge grant from the Oregon Community Foundation to help build the new campus for OSU Cascades. And Duane is a board member for the Oregon Community Foundation. And while every proposal ultimately has to stand on its own merits, Duane facilitated that conversation for us, and needless to say, we succeeded in achieving that grant. So I think that this is the kind of thing that Duane is constantly doing and that we expect to see from him for years to come. So Duane, we're so glad to have you in our corner. And if everyone will grab a glass, I would like to say cheers to our new lifetime trustee, Duane McDougall. Here.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mike, Ruth Ann, Jim, for the kind comments you made during the video. Well, mostly kind. I want to thank the most important people in my life for being here. My wife, my children, my 3 children and their families, my brother and sister-in-law, and my 2 grandsons that you may have seen running around a little bit earlier, Deacon and Solomon. You know, I'm very proud, but I'm also very humbled by this recognition. And mostly, I'm very proud of what Oregon State has achieved in the last 10 years. Our institution has transformed itself. It's become the best higher education institution in this state by far. And I'm grateful to have had a small part of it. As all of you know, strong leadership is vital to any organization's success. And Mike mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I am proud to have been on the search committee that brought in both Ed Ray and Mike Goodwin to this university. Both of them have been central to the transformation of Oregon State. And then there are the students. My wife, Barbara, and I, as you may have picked up, had the opportunity to talk with 4 recipients of the McDougall Family Scholarship every year and see the impact it's having on their lives. And these scholarships go to kids who good academically but don't have the financial resources to go to school. So we are thrilled to be a part of making the OSU experience possible for them and continue to be impressed by the quality of students that Oregon State attracts. Now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. College is all about changing lives. That's my belief anyway. And my experience at OSU is probably one example of thousands of others. And like most, I didn't even realize it was happening when it was taking place. And professors are on the very front line of that change in the lives of people. When I entered OSU, my goals were fairly simple. Get out as quick as possible and get a job. But what I learned was to pursue my dreams. And it was my accounting professor who took an interest in me and encouraged me to pursue my dreams. And I know it's hard for you to believe, but accounting people do have dreams occasionally. Now, Professor Charles Neihart helped me gain a perspective that was beyond the books, beyond a degree, and beyond a good job. And it took me way off campus. Pursuing my dreams meant dropping out of college my senior year, much to the delight of my parents, to pursue the woman of my dreams, who was inconveniently located in Switzerland. In pursuing the woman of my dreams, at least that's what I called it back then. Today it's called stalking. So I dropped out of college, went to Switzerland, and I can't say that the big romantic gesture was, it didn't work right away. Actually, it went downhill pretty fast. But it was a bit of a journey, and it was the smartest thing I ever did in my life. This is where I got to pretend I'm talking to a bunch of Wall Street people and get mean and nasty. Barbara, the woman of my dreams, has been my partner for nearly 40 years. Now, that journey also brought me to another important decision, something you don't often talk about in speeches, but it was becoming a Christian, which has been the foundation of my life since that time. Well, you know the rest. I did make it back to OSU. I earned my degree, and I started work that took me on another journey, a journey of growth, as well as put me in a position to give back to the institution that gave so much to me. Perhaps that's the most we can get out of a great college experience, understanding what is important to each of us, what is worth pursuing, the desire to continually grow, and the openness to that journey. My OSU experience brought me that. I'm proud to support a university that was life-changing for me and continues to be life-changing for thousands of other students. I'm excited about what I see happening at Oregon State, and the future for our university is bright. Thank you for this honor and for the small part of being able to continue to help this university. Thank you.